it is meant to exemplify is how commercial artists such as those aforementioned gangster rappers are in fact chimpanzees in a zoo making captors big money, unbeknownst to themselves. Much of this, as well as these other conscious spiritual artists' creation, is a prophecy or prediction of sorts in the vein of futurist poets and poetesses and Afrofuturistic authors creating their own tomorrows and authoring their own destinies. Speaking of what will hypothetically happen once poets and activists have more influence upon this Western system we live in, whether as anti-colonial scholars, activists, poetesses, visual artists, or all of the above. Many of these poems could easily be seen as the illusory thoughts of a psychotic or schizophrenic person with delusions of grandeur. And part of the paradox previously expressed is this very reality, which many poets and artists have lived and spoken of in the past. As they say, there is a very fine line between genius and madness, and walking it, especially deprived of mental sobriety in an overstimulating materialistic world, can be a harrowing task. With creations of such Afrofuturistic artists such as Nas and Damien, we flash forward into a speculative fictional future akin to Margaret Atwood's Mad Adam trilogy, Aldous Huxley's Brave New World, or Kurt Vonnegut's Cat's Cradle, where this system eventually destroys itself and is toppled by the sands of time like the Babylonian or Roman Empire Rastas speak of, or so many more. While most religions on this planet have been endlessly waiting for revelations, an apocalypse or a second coming as previously expressed, and continuously slaughter, imprison, or discredit the prophets and prophetesses who come along to manifest these changes, it seems that musicians and artists have found a socially legitimated way to finally bring these predictions from the realm of myth and fictional lore into reality. The sequel to this bleak post-apocalyptic landscape painted is worded within the idea of futurism and self-manifested prophecies, combined with activism and engagement in communities, both locally and globally, rather than passively waiting for and praying for a supernatural rapture which has no functional link to or basis in reality. Part of the reason why perhaps so many religions have failed to bring about the messianic change they seek could be seen at least minimally as residing within the problem of origins. This to me is likely one of the key features which drastically distinguishes the rebirth of religious prophecy within modern poetry from traditional ancient religions and their original prophets and prophetesses. These religions and their representatives to this day for the most part abhor the concept of having to recognize the prior origins, or rather the previous influences of past cultures and their own religious beliefs and thoughts upon their own, or spiritual ones. As in this example, insisting instead on their complete novelty and originality, when in stark contrast to this, these New Age poets and poetesses not only recognize the contribution of past cultures, such as the Sumerian origins of Genesis, but in fact offer a plethora of references to them in their poems and gladly acknowledge that cultural acceptance of diversity and its embracing